Don't get me wrong, I love wearing multiple crystals. I love all crystals. I'm majority of anyway. I'm a huge fan of crystals, and I would even go as far as to call myself a crystal witch because I've been working with crystals for such a long time. Crystals have such a important part in my life. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wear my crystals. So as you can see now, I'm currently wearing carnelian ring. That I wear this every day. This is with moonstone and tiger's eye, which it's paired with it. So, and I'm wearing Campo del Celio with Tektite and with Libya Desert Glass. So these are all specific pairings which I've chosen for specific reasons. So we'll talk about pairing crystals together a bit later. So the important thing about crystals is just choosing crystals with intentions and carrying crystals with certain intentions. So if you're carrying crystals, if you're grouping crystals together, say if you've got 7 crystals stashed away in your pocket, in your bra, whatever, if you're wearing rings, bracelets, necklaces, pendants, or even if you have crystals in your hair, like if you have like a hair clip or hair tie, something like that. So these are all ways that you can carry crystals, and we can sometimes forget if you're the sort of person who likes to just grab a crystal, and we kind of get carried away with it, and we kind of sometimes may have too many. Like this whole issue was kind of brought to my attention by a friend of mine who also works with energy and crystals, and she saw me last weekend when I was doing a craft fair, and I was kitted out in lots of my crystals. I was dressed to impress, as you do. So I was wearing lots of my wire-wrapped crystals. I was wearing some of my best pieces which I've purchased from various other places. So I was wearing lots of crystals, and my friend was mortified, and she was like, she said to me, "Ruben, you're wearing too many crystals." And she believes that the fact that I was wearing these different crystals contribute to me being disorganized and unfocused. It appears that she was correct. But I don't always wear loads of crystals all at once. That was a special occasion because I was doing the craft fair for a weekend. On the first day, I did Saturday and Sunday of last week. On the Saturday, I didn't really make much of an effort. I just maybe wore one pendant, if that, and maybe my ring. I can't actually remember because I wasn't feeling great that day, so I didn't make a lot of effort, and I had to get up really super early. So the important thing was I wasn't wearing many crystals. I just was wearing like a basic protection amulet of some kind. And then the following day, Sunday, I'd gotten the first day out of the way for the craft fair, and I felt like being more playful, of amping up the energy, wearing lots of crystals to kind of like give me a boost and carry me through that day. So I just piled on loads of crystals. I didn't think twice about it, to be fair, because I just love wearing crystals. So I was wearing loads of crystals. I was wearing aura quartz. I was wearing my pendants, what I'm wearing now. So I was wearing these items that I'm wearing now. So the Campo del Celio, the Tektite, the Libya Desert Glass. So these are powerful gemstones just in themselves. I was obviously wearing my carnelian, tiger's eye, etc. So I was wearing all of these. Did I mention I was wearing moldavite as well? Because I've got the moldavite with my aura quartz in a pendant. I was wearing all of these powerful crystals, would blow like just your run-of-the-mill person completely away. And to be fair, I've been working with energy for a long time. I've been working for crystals for a long time, so I have a higher tolerance to crystals. Although even myself, I feel like that day I did overdo it. So this is what I'm wanting to warn people about. Just like sometimes we just don't really think about it, and we think, oh, we don't think that anything could go wrong with that, or that we'd be impacted in a bad way. So we just need to be mindful of when we're combining crystal energies, because we ourselves have our own personal energies. We are, if you think of plants, we're similar to plants. We're filled up with water, different levels of sunlight, food, etc., etc., and we're just the same. Different things are gonna impact us in different ways, because we all have different sensitivities to energy, and we all need different things to keep us going. So whereas what would work for me may not work for everybody else, or what would work for one guru or crystal expert is not necessarily going to work for you. So when I say, if I say that such and such a crystal goes well with such and such a crystal, then take that with a grain of salt. You may find for you that that combination doesn't work, or you may find that you just need one crystal, or if I mention 3 crystals, then you may just need 2, or even just the one crystal. Or you may find if I've mentioned such and such a crystal, say if I mention amber, for instance, if I say amber's good for healing, or amber's good for protection, carry some amber or wear some amber, then you may find that if you carry amber, or if you pair it with like jet, which is a black gemstone, so that is a common combination, amber and jet. So if I tell you to wear those, and you may find that those energies are not working well with you, and that's because everybody's energetic levels, everyone has different levels of energy, and everyone resonates with different gemstones and crystals in different ways. That's in the same way that plants need different levels. And it's also kind of, if you think of allergies as well, we all have different allergies. Some people are allergic to peanuts, some people are allergic to shellfish, etc., etc., etc. Some people have crazy freaking allergies that you could only guess about. So if you think of allergies in terms of crystals, there may be some people who can't go near amber. There may be certain people who are so damn sensitive that if they wear amber, their energy's way off balance and they lose their shit. So everyone just needs to be aware of this, that we're all different. We all have our different energy signatures. Everything is energy, and we need to find energies which resonate with us, which fit well with us, and just be mindful when we're combining these energies together, because they can have an adverse effect if you're not careful. Okay. So one example of a combination that I would say would work well, here I've got some selenite. I've got a selenite orb here. So it's a beautiful piece of selenite. So it's different to the other piece of selenite here. So that's just like the run-of-the-mill selenite that you see, that's lower grade. So the selenite orb is a higher grade. So I would say you could pair it well with the rose quartz aura, or if you don't have the aura quartz of rose, then you could just use regular rose quartz. They would pair well together. So what could we use this combination for? So selenite is a very intuitive stone. So my thinking for pairing these together would be to tap into your own intuition, but making sure that you're always connecting through the heart and connecting to spirit that way by focusing on the heart center. So that would be a perfect combination which we could use. Okay, so there's other combinations we could use, like combinations for enhancing intuition, stuff like that. So that could be like using, do I have my crystals here? I do have my crystals here. Oh, this is going to make this so much easier. So enhancing with, I wanted to say you could use lapis lazuli, but it doesn't look like I've got a piece of that in here. Okay, so I'll choose, oh wait a minute, yeah, got lapis lazuli. So it could also say, if you wanted to enhance your intuition, to grab yourself some lapis lazuli and combine it with some tanzanite. So these are both very high vibrational stones. Lapis lazuli, it connects with the third eye chakra and with the throat chakra. And the tanzanite, I believe that would connect with the crown chakra because it's a very high vibrational stone. So crown chakra is on the crown like a halo, and the lapis lazuli, so I'll show you both of those at the camera because it may look a bit far away. So that is the tanzanite. So tanzanite is very expensive. It's very expensive because, like moldavite and stuff like that, tanzanite, moldavite, it's crystals that have "ite" on the end of the name, especially those two. Like the diamond companies, they realised that they was very popular and that they're very rare. They're quite rare crystals. There's not lots of them. It's not a crystal that you'll find in every crystal shop. You can't find it everywhere. So because they're quite rare crystals, they're very expensive, and the diamond companies have bought shares in them because they know that it's a good investment because it's a rare crystal and it's sought after. So those crystals, lapis lazuli, tanzanite, combine them together and you can enhance your intuition, so you can tune into spirit more easily. You can tune into your spirit guide more easily, and I feel like it'd be a good combination to use if you was wanting to do some channeling work, because the tanzanite is going to help you to tune into spirit, into the spirit world, the ether, and the lapis lazuli is going to help you to speak clearly, to get out your words, or get to put into words what you're channeling from spirit. So that would be another good combination. So although working with these crystals, it does depend on your own energy, personal power and energy as well, whatever levels you're at. So some of these crystals, say tanzanite, if you've never worked with crystals before, you may find that the energy is too much for you, or it's overstimulating, and you may feel like you've burst open your third eye or crown chakras because you're just not ready for that kind of energy. So yeah, do be aware of that. Work your way up with gentler crystals before you start working with the powerhouse crystals like tanzanite and moldavite and pretty much most of the crystals that have "ite" on the end of the names. Okay, so let me have a quick look here. So here I have another piece of Libya desert glass. Libya desert glass. So I want to make a video about this in the future. So Libya desert glass, it's an awesome and powerful crystal. So everybody goes crazy about Moldavite, but Libya desert glass is essentially the same thing. They're both tektites, they're from the same sort of family. They're both meteorites from out of space. So that is Libya desert glass. Although they're from a similar family, the energies are not exactly the same. They're both enhancing, expansive sort of crystals, but they have different properties. So whereas the Moldavites will tap into your heart chakras and probably burst it right open if you're not prepared for it, whereas the Libya desert glass, that will work with the solar plexus energies. So you can kind of guess in advance, when you're picking a crystal, whereabouts the energies what kind of metaphysical properties it will have and which energy centers it's going to work with, but just by looking at the color of the stone. So because this gemstone or this tektite is yellow, this tells us that it will work with the solar plexus chakra, because that energy center is often visualized to be a yellow chakra or a yellow flower, okay, or a yellow spinning disc. And whereas Moldavite is green, and that is why the heart chakra is visualized to be a green flower or a green spinning disc, hence why that tektite works with the heart chakra. Okay, so let me just have a quick look to see where else I wanted to go. So I've got a few notes here, and I've just poured all my crystals out on top of the notes. So let me just have a quick look. So yeah, that is another thing which is important, as well as carrying different crystals with us and combining them. And we need to make sure that we're having a good routine when it comes to using crystals, buying crystals and that sort of thing, choosing crystals. So the routine and the upkeep of crystals is so important. So that there's three parts of the routine. So after you've bought a crystal, after you've chosen the crystal, you then have to look at cleansing that crystal, because you don't know where that crystal has been, who's been around that crystal, what kind of energies has been attached to it. So it's always a great idea to cleanse your crystals before you use them or carry them with you, because you don't want other people's energies, especially the negative energies, you don't want their energies to affect your energy field. So that's why we cleanse the crystal first, and that can be easily done. So you can simply do it by visualizing white light. So hold the crystal in your hand, visualize white light either surrounding the gemstone, or you can simply blow onto the crystal, but in your mind's eye visualize you're blowing white light or white fire onto the crystal, and this will remove any negative energies in a very quick and easy way. So that has now been quickly cleansed just by visualization and by tapping into the element of air, the breath. The breath is a very magical and cleansing tool, hence why a lot of people do breath work sessions, because it can be used as a tool of sort of like excuse me, meditation, and for healing, personal healing. Okay. So cleansing, and then the next thing would be charging a crystal. So after you've cleansed it, you would then charge it by either placing the gemstone or crystal onto a charging plate. If you have one, so that would be either a charging plate of selenite. Selenite is great for cleansing and charging other crystals. If you have a selenite plate or bowl, you can pop your crystals or gemstones in that bowl for a period of time, whether it's like 24 hours or overnight, something like that. You could pop it in there, or if you want to give it even longer, if you want to give it 7 days or any period of time, then you give the crystal as long as you want, as long as your intuition is guiding you to give that crystal chance for cleansing or charging. Then you just go with your intuition. You will, the intuition won't lead you wrong there if you just follow your intuition. Okay, so there's cleansing or charging. So place it on a selenite charging bowl or disc or plate, or there is organite as well. Organite charging plates are great. I do love to make those. And you can also empower these charging plates further by using prayer. So prayer or spells or Reiki. So Reiki charging your charging plate to excuse me, to give the crystals the extra oomph. Okay, and then the last part of the routine for working with the crystals is to program the crystals. So you program your crystal simply by, the easiest and simplest way to program the crystal is to hold the crystal and tell it what you want the crystal to be used for, or what you want the crystal to help you with. So it's easiest if you're using a crystal. If you're using a crystal and you're asking it to help you with something which its metaphysical properties already is attuned to or resonates with. So if you see this here is a rutilated crystal, so rutile quartz. So the rutile quartz, it has little wires or hair in there. So in the past it has been called Thetis hair, so that's named after a Greco-Roman deity, and that is an area where you could work with it metaphysically, because it's named after a Roman deity, Thetis. So it's either Thetis or Venus hairs. So you could tap it into that sort of energy. So Venus is a goddess of beauty and of love, so you could use then the rutile quartz to tap into those energies. So you could hold the stone and say, rutile quartz, I want you to bring more beauty into my life, or bring more love into my life, something like that. So that's the easiest way. If you want to just hold it and tell it what you want, or even better way would be to hold the crystal to your third eye and then visualize that your third eye is sending light. So like a laser beam of light is going into the crystal, and you then think about what you want the crystal to do. So if we're going with what I said earlier, so I want crystal, I want you to bring more beauty, or want you to make me feel more beautiful, etc., etc., something along those lines. And then if you say do that for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you have successfully programmed your crystal to fulfill a task, so then that crystal will keep on working, it'll keep on sending the energy out from the stone to you and to the surrounding area to fulfill that task that you've given it. So that is why we program crystals. Okay. Okay. So wearing a combination of crystals, combining crystals together is quite tricky, especially if you're not like intentionally combining them together in like one piece of jewelry. Say if you was like carrying crystals in your pocket, in your bra, and wearing different sets of jewelry as well, then depending on the person, you may feel overwhelmed by all of those different energies and a bit confused. So that is what we call kind of like overkill when with the crystal energies, by just combining too many crystal energies without being intentional about which crystals you're carrying. Because if you're carrying crystals which have opposing energies, say if you're carrying a crystal for grounding and then you're carrying like, so say a crystal for grounding is something like smoky quartz or brown jasper. If you're carrying a crystal like that, so you're wearing or carrying that sort of crystal, and then you're also carrying a piece of moldavite or some other sort of tektite, so if you can, so then you're kind of confusing the crystals because they're both wanting to work with you. So the brown jasper or smoky quartz is going to want to ground you, and the other crystal, the high vibrational crystal such as moldavite or tektite, is then going to want to expand your energy and bring in the higher vibrations. So then what happens with your energy then is you kind of get stretched between the two crystals, because the grounded crystal is pulling you down, trying to ground you in the Mother Earth, and the expansive high vibrational crystal is trying to raise you up, and then you're kind of like an elastic band. And this can make you feel a bit ill and unbalanced and unstable and not good. So this is why we need to be intentional about the crystals that we're carrying and combining together. Okay. So certain crystals can be used for keeping the chakras and the auras in check or in balance. So certain crystals will, so you may be, so some people may want to wear like gemstones or jewelry that has all of the 7 chakras in. So some people, depending on the person, that may work for some people, but for other people's it may be too much. So it may be that you need to focus on the chakra that you need to work with the most. So if you think of a chakra that you know is clearly unbalanced and needs some work, then you can purposefully choose that gemstone or that crystal to carry or the pendant to wear, and that will have that crystal. You can then carry that crystal or wear that pendant. Say for instance, if your throat chakra is unbalanced, then you would then wear a piece of lapis lazuli. Or if your solar plexus is unbalanced, then you could wear a piece of citrine or carry a piece of citrine. Or yellow calcite, or even amber. So I feel like amber could work for the sacral and the solar plexus because it's kind of like a golden colour. I love amber. Amber's so good. So this is the citrine, or rather it's heat treated amethyst. Because citrine is not always what we believe it to be. Because rare citrine itself is much rarer than amethyst. That is why sometimes you get pieces like this one where there's lots of white on the stone, like if you look on amethyst. So it looks quite white and golden, and that's because it was really an amethyst which has been heat treated to then change it into a citrine. So because it's been through that transformation, the stone will work like a citrine because of the colour that it is. But if you want the best gemstone, if you want a gemstone that's really gonna work the full spectrum and really do the best job for you, then you're best getting a natural piece of citrine over a heat treated piece of citrine. Okay. So yeah, the aura and chakra balancing. So yeah, you can use gemstones for that, easy peasy. Simply just choose a gemstone which will bring the chakra into balance, or if the aura, if you feel like there's holes in the aura, there's certain gemstones which will help to repair the aura and shield it. I feel like one of the best shielding minerals and gemstones, there's two that come to mind. Everybody knows about black tourmaline, but not everybody knows about elite noble shungite, because elite noble shungite is extremely powerful, and it even protects us from radiation and EMFs, frequencies, stuff like that. So elite noble shungite is a great mineral to use. So I feel like a good pairing would be to use shungite, and I don't have a piece of shungite with me here, which is not cool. So a good pairing for if you're wanting to tap into healing energies, so basic healing energies, would be to maybe carry a piece of shungite and a piece of clear quartz. So do be careful with clear quartz, because depending on your own personal energy, your vibration, clear quartz can be too much for some people sometimes, especially for long periods of times. So if you're carrying clear quartz around with you for too long, then it may make you feel unbalanced, or even dizzy, or give you headaches, stuff like that. So a lot of crystal experts will tell you not to sleep wearing clear quartz, because a lot of people will find that if you're wearing clear quartz, a lot of people purposefully don't wear clear quartz just because it is such a powerful crystal, and it can be too much for some people. So especially do not wear clear quartz if you're trying to sleep. So if you're wearing clear quartz as in earrings or as a pendant, rings, etc., then take those off overnight. And if you're okay with wearing clear quartz during the day, then that's fine. If you're not feeling any of the negative side effects, which I'll talk about in a moment, then you can continue to wear clear quartz during the day. Okay. So everybody has their own vibration, like I mentioned a bit earlier. So everything in the universe is energy and vibration. So we need to just find a gemstone or a crystal which resonates with our own vibration. And this may take some trial and error. It may take trial and error to testing different gemstones. So testing a bit of ruby, seeing if ruby agrees with you. So you may want to carry some ruby in your pocket, or pop it under your pillow. See how you feel by carrying the ruby around, or maybe emerald, whichever gemstone. So emerald or ruby. Do a trial with different gemstones. See how they make you feel. See if the gemstones make you feel energized, invigorated, happy, or if the opposite happens, then you know to avoid that gemstone, because then it's like certain crystals or gemstones may be your kryptonite. So just as Superman has to avoid kryptonite because it weakens him, then you should then in turn avoid those gemstones which are weakening you and making you feel unbalanced in a similar manner. Okay. So we can use crystals for as a complementary therapy, and we can combine different crystals in a safe way for this to bring about some sort of complementary therapy healing. So certain crystals are good for certain things. So there may be certain crystals which are good for working with the lungs. I know that there's certain crystals which are good for improving the mental faculties. So that would be if you're trying to improve your mental faculties, memories, stuff like that. If you're having any struggles in that area, then combining howlite and fluorite would be a good combination. So simply wearing those or carrying them with you, they will help to strengthen the mental faculties. Oh, there is, which other combinations? So trial and error. So let me see. So I've got some. So this is a nice piece of fluorite here. Fluorite is a great crystal. It's quite protective as well. I do like it for protection, fluorite. So let me have a look to see what other crystals you can use in the combination. So there's a bit of tiger's eye here. So tiger's eye and carnelian, they work well together because they're the same sort of fiery energy. So if you think of like they're the two crystals which are within like the Leo's birthstone for the zodiac. So tiger's eye, it's very protective. It fills people with confidence. It gives them protection. People carry it for good luck and good fortune. And also carnelian, that's also carried for good fortune as well. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong stone. That's a piece of agate, that one. This is the carnelian, sorry. Looked very similar, and I am a bit partially colourblind, which does not help. So that is the carnelian. So carnelian and tiger's eye, they're a good pairing, so you could carry them together, and I believe you shouldn't have much issues with that combination. So certain crystal experts suggest that you don't, that if you are going to combine crystals either in pendants or by carrying them on your person, in your pockets, in your bra, etc., etc., certain experts will say not to carry over more than three different gemstones, 3 to 4 different gemstones on you. When you're going over 3 to 4 gemstones or crystals, then this is when you may tend to have problems, because each of those different gemstones have very powerful energies, and they're all kind of, they all want to sway you down a different pathway. So this is why when you wear too many crystals, like I did last weekend, then the crystals are fighting for your attention, and they're dragging you this way, that way, and every which way is when it gets confusing for you, and you may have a bit of brain fog and your energy will feel unbalanced. Okay, so I'm going to take this moment to just hit the bell. So the bell is to ask for people to please subscribe to the channel, because there is loads more videos. If you like crystals, I've got lots of other videos about crystals, so you can check those out at the end of this video. So I will continue. So we've talked about personal power. Everything in the universe is energy. We all have personal power. So when we finding crystals, when we're choosing a crystal or we're choosing a combination of crystals, we need to find crystals which resonate with our own personal power and which strengthen us rather than weaken us. Because I know there may be some certain crystals or gemstones. I know a friend of mine who did not like fluorite, so it's like a red sort of gemstone, and I believe it works with the internal system, such as like the heart, so it helps with healing or the bloodstream and the heart and stuff like that. So that was fluorite, but for some reason this friend of mine was the gemstone felt really off to her, and she didn't like to carry it. So I don't know if that was because she had some sort of blood issue or something along those lines. But certain gemstones, for certain people, they just don't feel like a good fit. So when you're choosing crystals, just pay attention to how those crystals make you feel, and if they feel like a good fit, if they are vibing well with you. So that is how you should always pay attention to your intuition. Your intuition will never lead you astray when it comes to choosing crystals. Oh, that's interesting. I was just talking about fluorite. So that's a little piece of fluorite here. It's just a red stone. Okay. So what are the side effects of combining too many crystals or carrying a crystal which does not like you or does not want to be carried by yourself? So you can think of it as like you have certain allergy to a certain gemstone or crystal, so it's like you're allergic to that crystal, so you should avoid carrying that crystal or combining this certain crystals because it's like an allergy for you. Because if you combine them, or if you carry that crystal which you don't resonate with and which makes you feel awful, then you will have certain side effects which I'm going to mention now. So certain crystals may make you feel restless or anxious and feel like you have a lot of anxiety. So some crystals which may do that is clear quartz, like I was mentioning. So that's a little piece of clear quartz there. I've got another piece here. I've got a big piece over here. So a piece like this you wouldn't be able to wear unless you're very good at wire wrapping. So clear quartz. So for some people, wearing clear quartz, it can make you feel restless or anxious, or there may be different crystals. So that is just a popular crystal which makes it hard for people to switch off the brain, so they may find it difficult to meditate with a piece of clear quartz or to sleep wearing a piece of clear quartz, and hence why they feel restless and anxious. And then another side effect of wearing a bad combination of crystals or the wrong crystal is if you feel like you are unfocused or you have brain fog. So if you're trying to focus on some sort of task, focus on your workload, and you're just not able to really fully focus, and there doesn't seem to be like an obvious distraction around, then it may be that you're wearing the wrong crystal or the wrong combination of crystal, and this is making you unfocused and distracted. And other side effects of certain crystals may be dizziness, headaches, and mood swings. So if out of the blue you're getting any of these side effects, then do think twice about carrying that gemstone or that combination of gemstones or crystals. So another side effect from carrying the wrong crystal or wrong combination of crystal would be an upset stomach. So if all of a sudden you feel like you've got an upset stomach or a heavy stomach or a tight clenched up stomach, or you may be feeling like your chest is like constricting and you suddenly you're finding it difficult to breathe, and there's no other logical explanation. So you've not eaten anything that you're allergic to. So if it may seem like there's no other logical explanation for this symptom, then maybe take a look at which crystals you've been carrying or wearing, and once it's removed, see if the symptom then goes away. And if you do find that, then it's simple really. Try your best to avoid wearing that combination or that gemstone or crystal. It would be good to combine moonstone. So I've got a piece of moonstone here. Moonstone. So moonstone ties you in with moon energy, lunar energy, and intuitive energies. So I would say that would tune in well with labradorite, if I can find a piece here. I don't see a piece here, which is strange. I've usually got a ton of that stuff. Labradorite, where are you? Any Labradorite? That is really strange. I don't have Labrador. Oh, wait a minute. Let me have a look in here. Yeah, I feel like there's a little piece of Labradorite in with my cards. So I'll just grab that quickly. No, that's lapis lazuli, as if. It's a Labradorite. That is a shiny gemstone, which is similar. It looks quite similar to how the moonstone looks, because the moonstone kind of looks shiny and iridescent, and so does Labradorite. Oh, wait a minute, here's a piece of, I believe, of Labradorite. So that's a piece of Labradorite. So it's not got... Labradorite usually has flashes, so combining moonstone and Labradorite together, so they're going to help you tune into subtle magical energies. It will help you to tune into the divine feminine, it'll help you tune you to the cycles of the moon, so that they would be a good combination to work together with if you're wanting to improve your intuitive abilities and to attune with the cycles of the moon. Then that would be a good combination, Labradorite and moonstone. Okay. So lastly, I just want to mention a couple of obvious gemstones that I believe most people should avoid unless you feel like you resonate strongly with these crystals. Then I would advise that you avoid carrying or wearing malachite, because malachite, it's a very pretty stone. It's green, it usually has stripes in it, or that sort of stripy patterns. So it's a very beautiful stone, malachite. However, the energies in malachite, it can affect the people who are around it. So if you place a malachite in the room, or if you're wearing a piece of malachite jewelry, malachite will enhance the energies that are already around it. So if you're a person who's wearing malachite and you're feeling upset or depressed and you're wearing malachite, then that is a big no-no, because malachite, its specific ability is to enhance the energies and emotions which are already there. So if you're feeling on cloud 9, or if you're feeling happy, then wearing malachite would be a good thing, because then malachite will enhance that and you will feel more happy and joyful. However, if you're feeling depressed and upset about certain things, then wearing malachite will then enhance those emotions and you will just feel extra crappy. So malachite is one to be careful of. And also, there's a huge thing of moldavite. So it's funny because some people, like myself, don't feel massively drawn to work with moldavite. So some people don't witness anything when they carry moldavite, although I believe it probably will be working with them on some level. But some people, they mention dramatic things happening. However, so I believe certain people should just avoid moldavite if you're not ready for it, because moldavite, it's a powerful stone which just came from out of space. It's a meteorite stone. So these are powerful gemstones and minerals, moldavites. So it can be overpowering for you if you're not ready for that sort of energy. So Just want to say that people should start off with gentler gemstones and gentler combos. So combinations of stuff like rose quartz, maybe rose quartz and moonstone, or rose quartz and amber. Nice gentle energies. Combining those together, or combining of you feeling a bit more like you want a bit more energy, then you could go with a combination of tiger's eye and carnelian, something like that. Or if you're feeling like you need protection, another good combination would be carnelian and black tourmaline. So it's just thinking about combining gemstones which are good for the same sort of thing. So you're then, if you're pairing like 1, 2 or 3 gemstones together, if you're pairing those together and they all have the same sort of metaphysical properties, then you're then reinforcing that property and it's amplifying those metaphysical properties. So then when you're carrying those, you're getting the desired effect. But if you're carrying crystals which have multiple different uses, so if you're carrying, like I was mentioning, if you was carrying a piece of newmite and then a piece of brown jasper and a piece of iron pyrite or something like that, then it's kind of just a bit too broad in a spectrum of the energy field, so the energies are going to be confusing and conflicting, and you're going to feel off balance if you're not being intentional about which crystals and gemstones you're pairing together. So if you like crystals, do check out my other crystal videos. I have videos about clear quartz. If you are interested in clear quartz, then check out that video. I've also got a pretty cool video about amethyst as well. Amethyst is a very spiritual stone, so if you'd like to learn more about amethyst, watch that video.